Hello everyone, today I want us to talk about Kaizer Chiefs management. Of course, I'm going to talk about them and their role in what we are going through right now. But first, I want us to go through your comments from yesterday to just see what you guys had to say. Now, we'll start with this comment from Theophilus Simelane Oti. No, my brother, Arthur Zwane is applying the style of play similar to Real Madrid and Man City, but the problem is that the players we have in the middle lack that proper quality pass and shots on target or even a killer pass. We need to have a plan B which entails a prolific and a dynamic attacking midfielder that can minus players in attack and string a lot of killer passes. Then we can win some games. But with these predictable players, we are going to struggle. For example, how many shots on target or even off targets they have combined. We need a player like Dr. Kumalo Chabupule or even Temba Zwane who can control the tempo of the game. Then Sizelagu Simons Bong saying, I'm sorry to say this, Coast Nation. Our management does not care about us as supporters. How can our management fail to buy the quality and experienced players like strikers in the caliber of Erasmus Nkembe from Cameroon, Pesitawu Mbela Etonga midfielder, Ndlondlo Mashego? As we speak, our opponents are laughing at us supporters. Please help us from being a laughing stock for other teams. Buy the suitable players for our beloved team, Kaizer Chiefs, from Samora Kabela. And then there's the last comment that's up here. So I want to read it where he's saying, Usibusiso Fihlela, they are wasting Blom talent. That boy is neutral defensive midfielder. Kevin Hunt, he was ready to let go of Katsande because he knew that position would be filled by Blom. I understand Baxter not playing him DM because he bought his Madal and at a call, but I don't understand Zwane for not playing Blom as a defensive midfielder. Now, guys, I want to just come back here and actually talk about this. So first of all, I want to talk about this thing yokuthi indaba Madrid and how Zwane is trying to play like. So there are teams like Real Madrid that can play abadlali and not really have a tactic. And I'm saying this on purpose because in his book, Carlo Ancelotti, who's currently coaching Real Madrid, he says that because of the quality of players that he has, he can just put them around in and say, go do the work. Now, if you have Toni Kroos, Casemiro, and Luka Modric, it's easy to do that because Casemiro, we know, at defend. Modric carries the ball forward, but he also has killer passes, whether long range or my pambil, but he can also dribble and carry the ball. And then Kroos is just good with long range passes. But with Chiefs, we don't have that variation. So then the output that Madrid are getting, Chiefs cannot be getting. So I cannot necessarily blame the players for that because you cannot expect that from the players who are new to the system, because abadlali be Madrid have been playing together for a long time, since like the 2015s up until now, 7 years. So now any coach can literally just field his squad and say go play. Laba bethu, they still need training, or they still need to be like specific to certain positions ukuze bezokwazi ukuperforma in a way that you want them to perform. Because if you're going to expect ukuthi you're going to get a good output from abadlali who are not specialists in that position, then uzoba nenkinga. And there's a comment actually that I missed about Umukojo. Someone was talking about how Umkojo is available and the Chiefs should go out and sign him. And that kind of relates to what I want to talk about, because Chiefs, Zwane has made it clear Uguti they are not going to sign any more players. Now, someone might say, as some people I saw my comments, they are saying, "Aye, Zwane, how is he expecting a management to back him ngama transfers if Kwayena he's saying he is done signing?" Here's the thing, guys. I do not think for a second Zwane is 100% happy with the squad that he has. I will say that again. Zwane can go out to the media and say whatever he wants. He can say, I am happy with the squad that we have. We need to get these players to play together. They are fine. We are fine. We don't need anything. He's not the first coach and he's not the last coach to say that. I will make one example by a coach that I love. If you know, in England, I also support Liverpool. So Jurgen Klopp comes out and he says, hey, Liverpool is fine in midfield, blah, blah, blah. We don't need a midfielder. Balimala bonke because they're injury prone. Badala, Liverpool yadliwa. Few days before the transfer window closes, he comes out and says, you know what, I was wrong. We do need a midfielder. And they signed a midfielder on loan. Sekuphuthunwa uAtumelo. They were not looking after Atumelo. They were looking for someone who was signed by Madrid. Where am I going with this? I'm going at 10 as a coach. If you have a good relationship with your team management, you don't just go out and start saying negative things about management, because those things get you fired. Liverpool won against Bournemouth 9-0 at Anfield. And after that game, Scott Parker, coach of Bournemouth, comes out and says, yeah, it's expected. We did not get any good signings. And then he got fired after that because apparently disrespected the team. Same thing with Thomas Tuchel with Chelsea. If you watch Chelsea, you know good, yes, Chelsea was struggling. But the main problem was that the people about management who taught Boli was a problem with Chelsea, because he is a problem, because he doesn't understand football. He once suggested to Thomas Tuchel that he must try and play E4-4-3. What is that? 4-4-3, 11 players grounding, 12 for keep, because I can understand the ball. And Tuchel ended up just being frustrated, and then he got fired. So Zwane could be avoiding the same thing, because he's trying to cover the management and he's not trying to expose them, because he knows Uguti, he still wants this job. He still wants to maintain a good relationship with the club owners, because he knows why. And Uguti, I've touched on this before, Uguti, he is not only just a Chiefs coach right now, but he has this long relationship that stretches long from way back in the Chiefs. And because of that, he will not just want to expose management like that. Speaking of people who are exposing people, and it's weird, please guys, expose ningabuka my video and then not subscribe. That's a weirdest way of asking for a subscription. Yes, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, guys. I appreciate it a lot. And if you haven't liked, please do like. And because of this thing, guys, yoguthi Zwane is not being bagged kuma transfers, we are having to see ukuthi kunama pockets ngempela akhona in our team. Because for instance, area of concern, defensive midfield, yes, uBlomu ukhona, but we know ukuthi vele naturally he wasn't playing as a defensive midfield. There are a lot of players that have been talked about that Chiefs did not sign. And by the way, those players did not end up being signed by Sundowns. The Chiefs just did not sign them because they did not go for them. Singakhuluma ngoBonganzungu, but uBonganzungu, mina I did say personally I didn't want him to play for Chiefs. And he's not a defensive midfielder either. He's a box-to-box midfield. We can talk about other players that were linked with abadlala in like Fabrice Ngoma, ukuthi hey Chiefs yamfuna, but there was nothing, there was no movement. And one example I can make ukuthi Chiefs is really being slow in terms of transfers is the classic one, Caleb. We were quite sonke lesikhathi Caleb until we realized we were desperate for a striker. Then we signed a striker. Why was management waiting all along? I don't know. Chiefs has this thing that our management does, Uguti. We are too slow sometimes to sign players, and then that's when Sundowns swoops in and takes those players. And in this case, Sundowns didn't even need to swoop in. We just didn't sign those players because there's a part of me that feels like Chiefs played a trick on us. I do. Because they just front-loaded everything towards the beginning of the season. they made sure they release all the players, and then we're like, oh, they are doing what we wanted them to do, and then sign new players, and then we're like, yay, and then that's it. Because now there's been nothing else that has happened. They just did everything their business early, which by the way is admirable. Uguti, they were able to do those moves earlier. But then why not just do everything at once? Usala ususayina noCaleb, because oCaleb were there. If namanje ngabahlalisa phansi ngithi, why was Darren Smith not signed? Because I don't think it comes down to just ukuthi he's not a good enough player, because he got 1 week and he was gone. It's like bese kugcinwa icala ukuthi kuthiwa hayi, he came and he didn't fit. And that's why ngithi mina inkinga will be Chiefs, because even ubuki situation of Musa Kamara had a problem with Power Rangers, but the Chiefs were ready to fly him in, and all of a sudden when he no longer had a problem with the Power Rangers, now Chiefs is no longer interfering, they are no longer trying to sign him. Why is that the case? I don't think it's just because a player all of a sudden became bad, but it could be because Chiefs just didn't want to sign him. Or they could argue, we did not want to be associated with a player who's involved in controversies with his team or whatever. But the thing that I'm saying is, as much as Zwane naye is to blame for the performance of the team, I also blame our management, because I would say if they had given him more players, then we would probably be in a better position. But that's just me. I am opening the floor. I am giving the floor to you guys. Go down on the comment section. Tell me, do you think the Chiefs management should have done better with signings? That's the question of the day today. Go down on the comment sections. Tell me what you guys think. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelu Moya.